Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the technology that makes it feel like your favorite brands know exactly what you want, sometimes even before you do. And nope, it's not magic. It's a full-blown revolution in marketing, and it's all powered by artificial intelligence.
All right, let's just dive right in. You know that feeling, right? You search for something online and suddenly ads for that exact thing are following you everywhere. Or you get an email with a recommendation that is just spookily perfect. You felt this. So we're going to explore this incredible shift from marketers making broad guesses to making predictions that are just razor sharp. So to really get a handle on this massive change, we first have to look at the foundation it was all built on. And that's a really powerful marketing idea called behavioral segmentation. You see, for the longest time, marketers just grouped people by demographics. Things like your age, your gender, where you live. But behavioral segmentation was a huge leap forward. The idea is simple but profound. What you do is a way clearer signal of what you want than who you are. It's all about your actions, not just your labels. And that's why this became so important. I mean, think about it. People might say one thing in a survey, but do something completely different. Your behaviors, though, those are observable facts. The products you click, the articles you read, how often you open an app, these are real, concrete clues about your actual interests. But even this fantastic idea had its limits. Trying to analyze all that behavioral data by hand, it was slow. And honestly, it could only tell you so much about the past. And this is exactly where artificial intelligence walks in and completely changes the entire game. I think the best way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like this. The old way was like a static, paper map. It could show you where your customers had already been based on what they'd bought before. The new way, the AI way, it's like a live GPS. It doesn't just see where you are right now, it's using all this real-time data to predict where you're going next and what the best route is to get there. And this table really just breaks down how massive that jump from a paper map to a live GPS actually is. I mean, just look at the data sources. The old way used past sales. AI, it pulls from absolutely everything, all in real time. But the real kicker is in those bottom two rows. The old method might get updated, once a quarter, and it could only describe what already happened. The AI approach, it's updating constantly, giving it the power to actually predict what's going to happen. It's a totally different ballgame. So how in the world does AI actually pull off this incredible predictive trick? Well, it really comes down to a few core abilities that are just, they're beyond what any human could possibly do. First up, pattern recognition. An AI can comb through millions upon millions of customer interactions on websites, in apps, through emails, and find these tiny hidden connections that a person would never, ever spot. For instance, it might discover that people who read 3 very specific articles are suddenly 80% more likely to buy a certain product in the next 7 days. Wild, right? And then it goes a step further. It doesn't just find the patterns, it actually puts a score on them. These AI models can forecast the probability, the likelihood of you taking a very specific action. This lets companies focus their energy on the people most likely to buy, or, and this is super important, reach out to customers who are starting to look like they might be about to leave. And this is one of its most powerful skills, journey mapping. See, the AI tracks not just what you do, but the order you do it in. It can map out the most common sequence of clicks that leads someone to buy something. It can pinpoint the exact spot in the process where people get frustrated and leave. And then it can suggest the perfect thing to do, like a helpful pop-up or a special offer at that exact moment to keep them on track. Okay, so we've talked about all this abstract data and these fancy algorithms. Let's shift gears and look at how this all actually shows up in the real world, the marketing that you and I see every single day. This technology is basically the engine running behind the scenes of our digital lives now. It's the reason you get that "we miss you" email right when you start using an app less often. It's behind those product recommendations that just feel a little too perfect. It even figures out the best possible moment to show you an ad or an offer, timing it for when you're most likely to say yes. So really, it all comes down to this powerful distinction. The old way of doing things was completely reactive. It was all about looking in the rearview mirror. But AI gives businesses the ability to be proactive, to look down the road, see what you might need, and solve a problem for you before you even knew you had one. But like with any super powerful technology, this isn't some perfect magical system. It's not a silver bullet. There are some really big challenges and some important trade-offs you have to keep in mind.
So what does this actually look like for a business? Well, an AI might spit out a score just like this one. This number could represent something called churn probability, which is just a fancy way of saying the AI predicts a certain group of customers has a really high chance of canceling their subscription soon. A score like that is like a fire alarm. It instantly kicks off campaigns designed to keep those people from walking out the door. But here's the thing. All this power is built on a pretty fragile foundation. It needs huge amounts of clean, high-quality data. It comes with massive responsibilities around privacy and rules like GDPR. You can even run into the weird problem of creating too many tiny little segments that are impossible to manage. And you always need a human in the loop to ask, okay, but why is the AI seeing this pattern?
So the big takeaway here really isn't just more AI is better. The companies that are truly winning with this know that the real magic comes from a partnership. You combine the incredible predictive power of AI with human strategy, human intuition, and just plain old common sense.
And all of this leaves us with what is maybe the central question of our modern digital lives. As this technology gets better and better at predicting what we're going to do, we get all this amazing convenience. But it also means that we, as a society, are constantly having to draw and redraw the line between what feels like helpful, smart personalization and what just feels like an invasion of our privacy.